Hey there, Tad Hargrave from marketingforhippies.com, just here down at the beach in Victoria. Beautiful night out. And this is a video about feeding versus metabolizing or digesting. I think sometimes we think that our job in marketing is to just to feed people info, but actually our job is also to help them metabolize and digest what they're getting from us. Our job is to nourish people, in other words. And nourishing is not just cramming food down their, putting food in their throat and force feeding people, or a buffet and just, hey, eat till you're stuffed. Our job is that people would be nourished. And nourishment is not just about content and raw data. Nourishment is about structure, exercises. Bradley Morris, a colleague of mine, we just did a workshop together called Pre-Sales Magic, which was all about how to launch things. And during the day, I don't know if I would have done it the same way, but bless him, we built in a lot of exercises. So not just content, but here's some time to go integrate it, because we had a very focused topic. That's really proper. Instead of just thinking, here's all the info all at once, because you could just do that in a PDF. Here's all the info. Here's a Google Doc. It's poorly organized, but it's all there. You figure it out. That's not as helpful for people as here's a very thoughtfully laid out curriculum. And if you follow this curriculum, you will actually be delivered to the result. So curriculum design is a big part of it if you're sharing information. I don't consider that my expertise. Other people who are much better at that. But that's the goal, not just feeding, helping them digest. And if you overeat, you can't digest. It's not good for the digestion to overfill your stomach. So this is part of our work, is to serve things out in portions that maybe they would want to eat more, but it's like, okay, here's just a digestible chunk. Go do something with this now and then come back with this. When I do my puttering sessions, my one-on-one work, which are all sold out until I think July at this point. When I do my one-on-one work, for some people, a good half of the call is me just telling them to go do stuff. Say, okay, great, you have pen and paper, go do this exercise. Great. 5 minutes later, what did you come up with? That's more helpful than me just talking at them and giving them information. So this, of course, goes back to what's Island A and what's Island B. What's the problem they have? What's the result they're craving? And whatever that is, whatever the result is that they're craving that they want from you, is thinking, how do I best give them information about that, though that can have its place, but how do I best help them get that result? How do I actually help them achieve the thing? It's Dave Corton said, it's not enough to just talk these things to death. We have to live them into being, and we want to help our clients live these things into being. So don't just feed them, nourish them. Don't just focus on giving them grub. Help them digest too. Lots of things can go into. There's the digestive bitters you could be feeding people before they eat. There's taking a break between portions to let the food go in and fill it with sparkling, delightful conversation that actually relaxes them. And so as their body is relaxed, helps them digest the food. All of this is the stuff to think. It's not a bad idea to think about it as that. If you were going to give your clients a feast, the kind of feast that they say they want, not just what would the food be, but what would the whole setting be? The welcome, the toast, the multiple toasts. What would be there to drink to help wash the food down? What would help cleanse the palate so they could really taste the next thing? How much time between portions so they could digest? Might you then retire from for dessert, might you move into the sitting room instead of sitting around a table before dessert? Would you have some wine for good spirits? Would you get the idea. You're gonna throw a party. Well, the point of the party, it's not just that people get together and do a prescribed set of activities, it's that people enjoy themselves, as people have fun. There is an intention in mind. If you're feeding people, it's to nourish people, not just, by the way, for the sake of their health, for the sake of the food that gave its life so that we could eat. So there's a real responsibility if you're serving a meal to make sure that that food goes to good use. And if we overfeed people, if we get people tense and stressed during the meal so their digestion functionally shuts down, well, that food really goes to waste. It can't properly digest. And it just turns into, it doesn't putrefies in the body because it's too much. And it actually robs the person of health and does a great dishonor to the food itself. So there's a lot to think about in this. Hopefully this is helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments or reflections of these videos, always you can put them in the comments below. It may turn into another video that I do. I do read all the comments, that's true. At least for now, until I'm famous. So thank you so much, everyone, and hopefully we'll see you in another video down the road.